Hi, this is Mark from Wiki Design. In this Blender beginning tutorial, I'm going to introduce you to a powerful and commonly used tool, and that is the loop cut. This tool is going to let you easily add extra geometry to your model, perfect when you need to add more faces to something like a default low poly model like this. So there's two different ways you can do your loop cuts, and that is visually right here with the side panel or with short codes. Let's go ahead and start with the side panel. So the first thing you need to do is jump over into your edit mode. So by default, it's object mode. You can just click up here to edit mode or hit tab on your keyboard. That will just switch in between the two modes. Then on the left side right here, you're going to see this tool right here called the loop cut. And so let's say I want to go ahead and add 4 cuts to the geometry this way. What you could do is just click one time, and then you're going to see this new pop-up here in the bottom left called loop cut and slide. So what you could do is just visually change this to 4. And then when you see that, it's going to automatically add 4 cuts evenly from the center. And then let's say for some reason you don't want all your cuts centered. That's what this slider right here called factor is. So you can go ahead and slide it. So if you need to start from the top with 4 cuts and then have the bottom one bigger, you could do it like that, or you can do the inverse. But by default, 0 is going to always put it in the center. And then smoothness right here is going to be able to kind of bevel it out. So there might be a case where you just want to have something simple like that. You can just do that as a loop cut in the slide right here. So there's a couple other options you can do is when you hover over it, instead of clicking one time, what you can do is left click and hold your mouse button down. And then that's going to give you the ability to slide it wherever you want. So let's say I want to start it right here and release. You could see right here, that's all that did was just change the factor number right here. So now you're going to visually be able to change this right here. And then you can always add more cuts. Now, one thing to remember, and this is across the board in Blender, is once you go ahead and you make another cut, let's say this direction, I'm not going to be able to change these values right here. So let me give you an example. If I go here, and let's say I want to add 2 cuts right here, I can't go back and edit, those options. So once you do it once, that's kind of it. Then you're going to have to kind of manually do it in edit mode. And then one little last trick is, let's say I go ahead and left click and I start dragging it. But then you're like, oh, I made a mistake. I need to go back to the center. While I'm left clicking, you can actually just hit right click. And what that's going to do is automatically center that for you. So you can always kind of do a right click on these things and it will center it to where the model is. Okay, so now we can jump over into how to do it with shortcodes. So this is going to be what I highly recommend is learning how to do the shortcodes. This will save you a lot of extra clicks. So you're going to want to make sure that you actually are not selected on the loop cut because the shortcut won't actually work. So you can just be on the regular like select right here. And now what you do is you can hit Control R. And then when you do that, you're going to see it's the same thing. I can go ahead and just left click right here. And then it's going to automatically give me the option to slide it up and down. So when I do that, I can now slide it like I was able to show you before. And then you can just hit left click again, and then it will go and lock it in. And then if I need to go into this panel, this is where the panel will come up afterwards. And then you can go ahead and make the edits right here. And then same thing I just showed before. Let's say I go ahead and left click here and I'm dragging and I don't really like where it's going. You can just right click and then it will just lock into the middle. Now, one of the more powerful features is if you go ahead and do the same thing, I'm going to go ahead and slice it right here. And what I'm doing before I left click is I'm just scrolling my mouse up and down. So if you ever see a tutorial and you want to know how they did that, that's how they're doing it. So before you left click, when you're using the shortcut, you can go ahead and visually add however many cuts you want. So that's how people are able to do this stuff real fast. So when you do that, you have to click again or just right click and it will lock it in the middle. And you can see right here, it added like 10. So you can see how quick this will be. So if I just hit Control R again, slide it real quick, boom. You can see right here, I have 11. So sometimes you can go ahead and you can see how much faster it is rather than having to go here and hit it like this or type in 10. Those little seconds kind of add up if you start doing a lot of different, modeling and stuff like this. And that's it for this quick tutorial on how the loop cut tool works inside of Blender. Again, this is Mark from Wiki Design.